Dating for millennials is far from simple. It's more like a Facebook status, complicated. For some, social media has replaced traditional ways of communicating and brought about indirect approaches to finding love. So what are millennials looking for in a partner? This is what I wish you knew about relationships. Hey, I'm Zeppelin. Welcome to I Wish You Knew. There's no doubt that social media can have an impact on millennial relationships. It can change who we date, why we date, and even how we date. How are millennials redefining traditional ideas of romantic relationships, and what are their thoughts on monogamy? Here to tell you what they wish you knew are...
Yasmin.
You, Ray?
Hi, Mahogany.
Hey, I'm Caleb.
So, let's get into it. Other than social media, what are some different ways that we approach relationships?
Dating apps.
Oh, that's fair.
Is that really a thing?
Yeah, Tinder.
Yeah, it's really a
Tinder.
thing. And we
Haven't
still
heard about
actually
this Tinder thing. So what is that? How does that work? Like, what is that?
Tinder.
Yeah.
You don't have one?
No.
Caleb,
Oh,
you
you
look
don't-
like an
oh, you
expert
don't
at
need
Tinder.
one.
Go ahead, break it down for us.
You
baby.
swipe left, swipe right.
I keep hearing about it. The swipe. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swipe left is I like you. Swipe right is or is it reverse?
Is it? It's the other way. I think
Swipe
swipe right
right.
means
I
yes,
like you.
I'm
Swipe
interested.
left.
The general purpose is that you got to swipe to say if you like the person. If you match, then you have like a certain amount of time to hit them up, and then you start a conversation. That's kind of like how the
This is
process.
beyond-
But I
the
hear there's a new one called like Bumble app, and
Yeah.
it's geared towards it's strictly for females. Like, because sometimes at Tinder, some people don't get a lot of swipe rights. So Bumble is basically geared towards females. So like, if I was a female, and I like this person, that means that it's basically geared towards and designed strictly for me. I don't know how it works. I don't have it. Do you?
I don't have Bumble. I used to, once upon a time, I tried to use Tinder, and there was one other app, Black Singles.
BlackPeopleMeet.com?
Black people,
Soul
yeah,
Swipe?
BlackPeopleMeet.com.
Soul Swipe.
I met some
Yeah,
creeps.
it's the black version of it.
I met
Yeah.
some creeps. Like,
I mean-
it's a no.
Do y'all think it's effective though? Like, do you think that it's like it builds a solid foundation when you have like an app and this is the way that you?
Most people get on apps for one thing.
I think it's more of like a pastime.
I feel you.
Because like, when you're in bed, you wake up, swipe, 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 swipe. Like,
Do you
swipe,
do
swipe.
that? Have you done that?
I did at one point when I was like, just going wild. But
I feel you.
right now, it doesn't seem like it's gratification anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think it takes away from the interpersonal interaction. Like I feel like we're so technology driven as our generation. I feel like what happens to that face to face. I feel like a lot of us don't know how to talk to each other no more. Everything's
But
through
wait
text.
a minute.
No,
Wait,
what's
I'm really
another thing?
I'm really bothered by like there's this assumption that's created that we don't know how to talk to each other, that we
think
don't
it's
meet people.
true.
Like I've met people, like I can meet creeps online just like I can meet them in person, which I have.
That's true.
So,
That's
but
true.
no, like okay, granted, there might be some younger folks who don't know how to communicate with people, but like that's our human nature. We know
Right.
how to, like, hey, how you doing?
Ish.
Right?
People
I
like
beg to differ, because we could all be at a table, and what is everybody doing?
Yeah, you know,
Everyone's on their
You're-
phone.
yeah,
and
yeah.
they're all
y'all need some real friends.
No, check this right. No,
That's
check this right. Say for example, you're like a happy hour or something like that, and it gets awkward or it's uncomfortable, and you leaning on the wall. Before, you would have had to go up to somebody and engage. Hey, what's up? How you doing? This is what I do.
Exactly.
Now you could like be on your phone, Instagram, texting people, and that's what you do.
People can communicate
So
if they want to.
If they want to.
But now since we have so many options, I don't have to go.
Thank you. So it's become the
have
last
to.
resort. Instead of coming to someone and be like, hi, how are you doing? My name is this. It's like, oh, hey, what's good?
Right. ...
Emoji.
Smiley face. Yeah.
Smiley face emoji. Thank you.
But is that like the individual's fault or like
The
like
individual.
the app?
No, I
Because-
think it's the individual. It's just like Facebook allowed for people to kind of like stay in touch with people passively. Before you had to pick up the phone and like call people. Now like it's like if
Yeah.
I like or I comment on your picture, that's us staying in contact.
I don't gotta
it's-
call you.
Right. I don't have to call you anymore. So it's like social media and technology just allows for us to take the easy way out, which is millennials. We are a lot of the times looking for the easiest way to do stuff.
That's a good way to sum that up. The easy way.
Good. No, you just. All right. So how are you effectively meeting people then? If
Yes,
you're
I
not
wanna
talking
know.
about DMs, if you're not talking about
Right.
Tinder, how are you effectively meeting people?
Well, see, It depends on if I'm actively looking to find someone,
So
because
when
I
you are
might
active.
use an app to.
Oh, so you here
No,
for it.
listen.
You talking about it, but you here.
No,
for it.
listen.
Let me see your phone. You the main one on it.
To
Go ahead.
assist me. However,
Okay.
I'm not currently actually looking to meet someone for the purpose of a relationship,
Okay.
and so the last couple times, the person I met in real life, in
Yes.
person, and we talked, and they asked me out on a date. So
Okay.
it still works. It
Yeah.
still happens.
Right.
But I'm not saying just because I use an app does not mean that I don't go out and like dress up real nice and
Okay.
look for somebody to come and talk to me.
That you're dependent.
You're not dependent on it.
Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
I just think it's an assumption that millennials are just limited to social media. Now, granted, we do use them.
Absolutely.
But we meet people in person. Like we go to school, we have jobs.
Yeah.
We go out to the club. We go out to eat, to
Okay.
drink. We travel. I mean, we're more connected than we've ever been before.
So
So,
what
you
are-
can meet people.
What are you all's preference then? Like, what do you all prefer? Like, in a perfect world, if you were spitting to somebody, or like, how do you all prefer to kind of go about it? Would it be in person or would it be tech?
In person.
In person.
In person.
In person.
In person is the
I
most
gotta see your
organic
body
way.
language. I gotta feel your vibes. It's all
Right.
about vibes and energy for me. So I want to feel like I can have an intellectual conversation with you, like beyond texting, because at some point you have to be verbal, and that's one thing that I'm really big on. Like I don't want to text the person that I'm trying to date and trying to build and grow something with in text
Right.
message. That's not
That's not
allowing
gonna
me to
work.
learn you. That's just me looking at words and giving me a space to perceive things in a way that I'm looking at them, and vice versa. So it takes 2 seconds to pick up the phone. Call me old school, but pick up the phone and say something. Like make that time. So I think that has been pushed back a little bit, and texting has been the automatic go-to. But we have FaceTime too. But you know,
I feel you. How do y'all feel about sliding in DMs?
it
goes
down in the
Oh,
DMs.
you-
It
oh.
goes down in the DMs.
All right, here's what we'll do. Here's what we do. When we get back from break, we'll go back into
Yes.
it. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more. All right, so you're about to get married. You said you've been. All right, welcome back to I Wish You Knew. So let's pick back up on it. We were talking about sliding into DMs. How y'all feel about that?
I can't take DM messages seriously because it's usually, and it's creepy. It's usually like, hey,
Okay.
how you doing? Oh, you look nice. And I'm like, okay, thanks. Like,
What's the difference
Who are
between
you?
the DM and the?
Yeah, and coming up to you in person. What's wrong with that? You are a public. You're.
I gotta say,
Go ahead.
if it's an IG model, right, and that's the only opportunity I have to get
that you have. That you have.
The only
outside.
opportunity you taking it.
right, so I gotta be swift when I go in it.
That's it.
It's only happened once.
Once.
well, what did you say? Do you remember?
I just like had to like stalk her page real quick, and I saw something she said, and then I engaged in that conversation. I brought it up
See, that's smart.
Was it effective?
instead of saying hey, but
Was it
Did it
was it
work?
effective?
for a little bit.
Oh, okay. And then what happened? She lost.
It's hard to bring them into reality.
That's
after
real.
that, So
That's
I found my
that's.
significant other on DMs. Not looking though, it just happened. It was like a friendship, and then it gradually we met in person.
Wait, what is
So
that? What does that mean?
That means that we had a conversation.
Uh-huh.
It was very neutral. And we're
Okay.
like, hey, I'm in the city. If you ever want to link up, whatever.
So that
we-
wasn't with a relationship in mind when you sent that?
No, I didn't go in looking for something to love. I just was like, hey, like we vibe. It seemed like we were on the same page, like
Okay.
museums,
How did you
art stuff.
find her? Like, did you just?
She sent me a friend request. Let's be clear.
Okay.
And then you know how to start.
Fair,
Everybody
fair,
started liking
fair,
the
okay,
pictures, so
fair.
I liked them back. And then I was like, okay, then the DMs happened. But that was like an almost catfish moment because you don't know who's gonna come there.
That's real.
So that's the part that's real, but it ended up working out in my favor. I was one of those little lucky ones. But no, the DMs make you nervous. I mean,
Yeah.
you got songs out, you be hearing people be being other people. So it's a scary thing to do. Like, I wish it could go back to if we're just out, like you talked about earlier, and
Yeah.
then we're just out and people just come up to you and be like, hey, like, I don't know, do you feel like men are approaching women more, or is it vice versa?
I think the
In your
I
experiences.
think the game. I think the playing field is level in the sense.
Agreed.
So I don't know if it's like more, but yeah, I think it's.
Playing field is level. level? Where?
I think it's 100% level. I think if we look at shows like Insecure, I think if we listen to
True.
a lot of,
I don't know where y'all been at.
you don't think that the playing field is level where
shouldn't
women,
have it, especially
yeah,
shouldn't
where
have it.
women are seeing dudes and they're like, you know what? Listen, I tell y'all a quick. I know a girl who was like, yo, he's fine. I want to smash. Let me go holler. Let me go jump in his DMs right now. And that was it. Got what she wanted and then stopped talking to him. Just because she was like, he's attractive on social media.
Okay, but what does that mean about playing field though?
Yeah.
Like
That,
that's
it levels the playing
it
field
does.
because before it was like that would have been
that's the context that
yeah,
you
that would have been
mean. Oh,
taboo where it was like, well, I mean, the question was the girls going after guys.
Yeah,
that
or
was
do
the
we do sit
conversation.
around and then we just
Okay,
wait for the
right.
guy
No,
to
I
come to
thought you
us
meant
or whatever.
playing field is in eligible bachelors and bachelorettes.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
No.
My mind was somewhere
No.
else.
No, girls now are approaching.
Yeah.
Like they come. They're not waiting no more. From what I hear, I mean,
Yeah, you don't have to.
know, it is what it is. You see what you want, go after
And then
it.
you-
But is that because the amount of guys out there is limited?
Nah.
I would
So
say
with
it contributes.
that
to-
amount of guys limited, are you open to open relationships?
It's a no.
It's a no. It's a no.
So
What do you mean when you say open relationships?
Open
How do you define
relationships.
it?
Yeah, how are you
For you.
defining that? What does that mean? Like we're both upfront about seeing other people?
Basically, yes. Like Will and Jada's relationship.
I mean, I don't
that's
know.
different.
Can we
That's
attest
something
to
Yeah,
that?
I don't know.
Confirm that?
Yeah, I don't know like their whatever that they do, but I mean, I think that.
But Monique
She
and her
did mention
husband have an open relationship.
I mean, as long as you communicate, I think at the end of the day, that's the problem. I think
That's
you got to communicate. If you don't communicate, then that's where it becomes
That's what I
problematic.
appreciate about the female on She's Gotta Have It.
Yeah, what did she
Nola?
do?
Nola.
That was
because
like-
what I appreciate about her, because even though she had multiple partners,
Yeah.
what it brought light to was that this is a young woman who knew what she wants. She
Yeah.
embraced her sexuality. She embraced her just being a woman. And she's like, look, I have this partner, I have this partner, I have this partner. And they all knew of each other, but they did not know who each other were.
Okay.
Until that
But
whack last
until that
episode.
So
last
would y'all be down
episode.
for it personally?
No,
What'd you say?
it's a no. It's a
No.
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 So I'm gonna tell you real quick. I was dating a guy who told me he was living with his aunt.
Okay.
Right, and I believed it, even though I did my research and I couldn't find anything to say
You did your
otherwise.
research.
I did.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all got filling out CIA applications.
investigate.
Nah, go ahead. Do your thing. Do your thing. Go ahead.
After 4 months, going on 5 months.
Yeah.
He finally told me, he said, you know what, I have something to tell you.
Okay.
He said that, she's not my aunt. You were right. She's not my aunt. She's my girlfriend.
You were right.
You were right.
It's a no.
Okay.
I was so hurt. I was so hurt. And so, I feel like, okay, if an open relationship works for a couple, for a group of two people, okay, fine. But for me, like, I desire to have that one, to find a husband, have a husband. I don't know if I ever will.
Monogamy. You like the
Yeah, monogamy. Yeah, it's something special about only having that one, so you don't have to worry. Like, this is mine. Like, I'm yours, you're mine.
So,
like,
I mean, but
there's
then
a
doesn't the-
sacredness
All right,
in that.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate only because
Yeah,
I
let's
kind
play
of
it,
only because I
'cause
kind
I'll
of
play
believe
it.
it. Like, you don't think that a person could find special things in different people, and because of that, like, is it fair to say that you could find everything you want in one
You're
individual?
never going to, but that's
So
the
then
whole-
why is it problematic if you seek out those things in other people?
It just depends on who you are and what your perspective is.
Okay.
If you have certain morals and ethics, if you have a certain religious
Why
or
it got
faith,
to be morals and ethics?
Because
Why I can't just
let
like
me
the
tell
way
you
somebody
something. Let me
looks,
tell you
somebody
something.
else's
When we
conversation,
sleep around-
the way
okay.
somebody dresses? Why I can't
when
just
we
like those
sleep
things?
around
Because that's
with
kinda-
multiple
That's having your cake and
people,
eat it. Okay.
when we
That
sleep
seems like
around with
kinda lazy,
multiple
yeah.
people, it
Yes.
puts people in danger. We don't talk about that. It's already.
Puts them in danger of what?
It puts them in danger for multiple for sexually transmitted diseases or viruses that do not go away.
Okay.
It puts people in danger. I mean, their heart.
But you could do that with one person.
That is true.
Yeah.
So I will say
Okay,
it's about
so
it's about
yeah, so let's
boundaries
up our
too.
odds.
I feel like in an open relationship you have to have boundaries because in a sense I feel like people say they want an open relationship because they don't want the title, they don't want all the attachment that comes with it. But when you think about it, you're sitting there saying you want to do this with this person or you're being intimate with this person, but you don't have the title.
Right.
y'all, that's still a title.
Right.
You're just not saying I'm your boyfriend, I'm your girlfriend. But it's just kind of like it's the lazy aspect of saying I want to be in a relationship, but I don't want what comes with it, but I want to have this person with me at my convenience.
There you go, convenience. That's the word. That's what it is.
Let's do this. Let's pick this back up when we get back.
Okay.
More about what I wish you
'Cause
knew
we
when
can
you
go
get back.
there, because I'm just saying, you want to have your cake and eat it too.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. All right, let's jump back into it. We're gonna pick up where we left off.
Yeah, I just feel like with like an open relationship, if you are planning to do that, you have to be upfront at the beginning of the relationship with your partner. You
Okay.
both have to be on the same page with
Yeah.
it. One person can be like, I want an open relationship. The other person like, no, I want monogamy. It's
Okay.
not going to work. And then if you both are on the same agreements with it, you have to create boundaries.
Okay.
Because I don't know I've never been in an open relationship, but it was a part of, in one of my relationships, I was asked midway, oh, what if we open this and try something different? I'm like, that's not what I signed up for, but
Okay.
that's my own personal preference. But I'm
That's
not
fair.
going to hold you if that's what you want to do.
That's fair.
But I appreciate that they were upfront about it.
Right.
It's all about communication.
It's about communication.
Because I had a,
It's okay, Caleb.
Sorry, man. We need where the tissues at? Where the tissues at? He was like, cause
just my heart.
I had this moment. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, man.
It was
Some
just
candles and incense.
fresh out of high school, back home in Texas,
Yeah.
high school sweetheart, at least I thought. I'm gonna say her name, but we were dating maybe about 9-10 months, about the same length as you and your significant other.
Yep.
And it wasn't until I would pick her up at her house, which I thought it was her house. And then one day she was like, pick me up at this house. I was like, okay, cool, we gonna go out. Got the movies,
Yeah.
Transformers or something I was about to go see.
And chill.
And then it was some dude there, and I'm like, oh, this is your uncle? No, this is my other boyfriend.
Okay. All right. But so there were no.
to the house?
You had.
First of all, you know how dangerous that is? It's Texas.
It is.
It's open carry.
You had.
Danger.
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 Stranger
Get this danger out of here. Look, so
This
hold
one.
on. So you had no signs of that?
No signs.
Well, come on,
at
player.
all.
How do you not know that your girl was
Y'all need to stop.
Yeah,
being
yeah,
silly.
yeah, know your old lady
People can play you. People
Yeah.
can play.
with a
What
whole
about
with a
what you
whole
think, Ray?
boyfriend?
Until you pick her
People
up.
can
Did the
play,
boyfriend
yeah,
know you was
they can
picking
fool
her
you.
up?
that's what-
No, because she played both of us. 'Cause she was like,
all right,
so
fair
is this
enough,
like,
fair enough. I feel you.
she's like, this your cousin or no?
So
this
the
is
So
side-
did you stay with her afterwards?
no.
Okay.
Man,
All right.
please.
So
You're right. What do you feel about like relationships, open relationship, or monogamy, or?
So I agree with both what you guys were saying, but in terms of like catching like any like trans disease or anything like that, obviously you gotta be honest about the whole thing from the
Yeah,
jump.
Absolutely.
Because then you can avoid all of that. And I think open relationships work because it helps both individuals build, depending on what stage you are in your life. But
Build what?
like just your personal growth, because like you were saying, you can get knowledge from everybody. And by you,
Yeah, but that don't mean you gotta have a relationship with like a sexual relationship with them or intimate relationship.
no, but I mean, if it leads to that, then so be it.
Are y'all serious
If it
right
works.
now?
I mean, all right. Here, let's
What
let's
century did I? What
Let's
did
do
I
this.
step
Let's
into?
do this because
The
I want
25th century.
to switch it a little bit, but still kind of along this same conversation. So Chris Breezy, he had that classic, came out a few years
song
ago,
of the
right?
century.
Song of the century, right? Loyal, right? These ain't loyal. How do y'all feel about millennials, partners, all that sort of thing? Like, do y'all feel like the opposite people of whomever you like are loyal? Because I feel like that's a lot of my friends in conversation. They're like, yo, I can't really trust these women. Or I can't trust these girls. My friends are like, I can't trust these dudes. So, I don't really settle down. I just kind of, I do me. How y'all feel about that?
I think with like that song in particular,
Yeah.
but I think it's like a reflection of other songs in rap music.
Right.
Where like they don't really contextualize what it means, oh, these girls ain't loyal. So like given that, it just puts this like this knowledge out there where guys will be like, oh yeah, these girls ain't loyal. And off the
Yeah.
slightest thing, the most pettiest
Oh,
thing.
yeah, but there's
so
no
they
context,
just like
that's real.
dropping girls and not building at all.
Right.
So
I will say it was an interview where Chris Brown was talking about as far as the state of R&B and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then it was another old school R&B dude from the 90s.
Right.
He was like, well, now we have music that's about these girls ain't loyal. Before we had, there's that's a Stevie Wonder song. Like she's
Right. feel you.
special lady or something.
Right.
Chris Brown was like, well, there's no respectable women, so
Whoa, see.
that the music is
But a
gonna
lot of the
reflect
times they say music reflects what's
The
going
times,
on in the
yeah.
culture. And
Of
like,
course.
I think that like social media does create an atmosphere for people to not really be loyal because we are visual creatures. And so like, I think it's like truly unfair to say that you could have a partner and they could have social media and not find other people attractive that they follow.
So just because you find, it's called self-control. Just because you find someone, I
Yeah,
see,
that's
I
cool,
see
but-
fine men every day.
that's
That don't
cool.
mean I want, you know.
But just because something's called self-control doesn't mean people actually exhibit it.
They should. Oh my God, I can't.
Yeah, you should, but that doesn't mean that you do.
But wait, time out. Okay, so two people in a relationship, you're saying just because they have social media, they're more likely to find whatever else it is they're looking for in other people.
I'm saying that a space of people not being loyal in their relationships is, it can be created a lot easier because of that. So what I'm saying
but
is that
that's gonna be there with or without social media.
have y'all found people that y'all have talked to, have they been loyal? Or how have y'all found monogamy in the way that y'all have approached relationships? I mean, you obviously said you want monogamy, but the other people, how have y'all found that? Like, you know, girls you've talked to, or women like, how have y'all found that? Or
Well,
men you talked to?
I grew up in the Baptist church. I'm a Protestant.
I feel you.
And now not to say no one's perfect, no relationship is perfect, but I have been blessed to have spiritual parents who are married, man and woman, they're married to each other. And I'm sure that I can't say all of it because I don't know,
Yes.
but I'm sure that a certain percentage of them are loyal and they grow together, they build. When things happen, they forgive, not to say,
I'm saying the millennial men that come at you right
oh,
now,
I can't talk
are
to
they
ain't
loyal?
no
That's what I'm
millennial, ain't no
saying.
millennial men looking for no relationship half the time.
Okay,
So
all
no,
right,
I
that's
can't-
what
I
I'm
can't
talking
speak-
about.
No, the ones that I can't speak on it because the ones that I see, they just want to live, they got forever, and it ain't no big thing. But that's just my little bubble.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair. And what have you seen on the opposite? What have you all seen on the opposite side? Have women been loyal?
no. Chris Brown was right.
Okay.
Lies. It's not all so generalized. I think it's not all. I think it's what you attract. You are what you attract. So I feel like you need to put out what you asking from someone in return. If you doing your dirt and you not being faithful, then you expect so much out of the other person in your relationship. That's not going to
But
work.
what if you are faithful and the other person just because of their past experiences aren't faithful? Because that
then
happens too.
then
So many
that's
people
their
bring that
Like
back.
people bring baggage into
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And so because they got
I feel like
cheated
you need
on, now
to
they
be
cheat
100
on
with
you.
me up front. And if you're not, your truth will always come to light. So I feel like if I went through this stuff in my past, it's my responsibility to let you know. And it's also my position to be like, okay, this is what I come with. And I'm giving you the position whether you want to deal with it or you don't.
I feel
Does
you.
that
Now, I
person-
feel like that's not always reciprocated in everyone's situations, but then that's what leads to issues that come up later. And that's how social media gets involved because everyone feels like everyone's doing their dirt on social media.
I feel you. All right, let's do this. Let's wrap it up on that note. I think this was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you all again next time on I Wish You Knew. That's good. I feel you. I like to know people